There's another cover-up happening at the moment, Craig, and that is up in Queensland, which I'm sure you know about. This is the Queensland government started funding scientific research into the efficacy of vaccines way back in May 2020. And it was going to be a 2021. It was going to be a 5-year study involving 10,000 people, and it was already producing interesting insights into how people uniquely respond to these so-called vaccines. But last week, the government suddenly ripped out the funding. What happened?
Look, this should be a scandal of the highest order. Where are the investigative journalists in this country? Let's just go through what happened. We currently have record excess mortality. In 2022, we only had the data out last Friday, and yet there's not a single mention of this anywhere in the media. We had over 25,000 extra Australians died, which can't be explained for what the reasons are. 25,000 extra Australians dead. That's something like 2,000 a month more Australians dying. This should be a great concern to every single one. There's not a mention of it. Now, then we have this, what's called the Quovax study, which was one of the most extensive studies being undertaken anywhere in the world that would have given us a long-term data. They had 10,000 participants, both vaccinated and unvaccinated. It was due to go over 5 years, so we could look at the health outcomes over 5 years of people that had been vaccinated, people that hadn't been vaccinated, and how they were going. Right? So this would have been the smoking gun to show the effectiveness or the ineffectiveness of the vaccines. And yet, we've had the Queensland bureaucrats pull the funding, so they're shutting down the trial. This is fraud, because I'll tell you what, they knew that what those results were going to show. Already the results that are published from that study showed that those that have been vaccinated 4 or more times were more likely to have COVID and more likely to end up in hospital. That's what the results were showing. So rather than actually have a study that showed us these vaccines may be very dangerous, may be responsible for this excess mortality, they've just shut it down altogether, pulled the funding out of it. It is a disgrace of the highest order. And we have all the one thing. My call out is to all these teals that got elected at the last election. They came on and they said, we want transparency in government, and we're for all integrity in government. Well, come on, teals. There's what, 5, 6 of you in federal parliament? Not one of them has said a single word about this Quovax study. They are prepared to allow this malfeasance and allow this corruption to go passing by. That's my call out to the teals. You say you're for integrity in government. How about speaking out against this Quovax study being shut down?
Well, they all voted against an investigation into Australia's commitment to the World Health Organization as well, didn't they?
Yeah. Look, just disgraceful. Look, we raised this issue, the United Australia Party, we raised this issue before the last election. We said we cannot sign this World Health Organization treaty because in many aspects it will be surrendering the sovereignty of our nation to make medical decisions if the World Health Organization declare another pandemic. Now, we've seen how appallingly the World Health Organization, their conduct during this pandemic was, how they got decision after decision completely wrong and how they reversed it. They didn't know what they were doing. To think that we would surrender our decision-making to that Tedros character that runs the World Health Organization, the former Ethiopian Marxist, is going to make decisions in Australia. We tried to raise that at the last election, and we were told you're conspiracy theorists. Yeah. Well, it's now going ahead, and what's worse, we've got in federal parliament, we've got a handful of people standing up against it, and both the Labor and Liberal Party are, it's okay, no problem, we're just happy to sign this. Not even to have an inquiry into it.